What if you were born inside a galaxy so vast that you could never truly know it? A galaxy where light itself takes millions of years to cross from one side to the other, where the night sky isn't dark, but flooded with stars, and where entire civilizations could exist without ever knowing they're not alone. But let me ask you something. How would you even realize that your world is incomplete? Try to imagine it, not as a concept, not as a number, but as a real experience. A place where looking up at the sky wouldn't mean seeing distant points of light, but facing something alive, dense, almost overwhelming. A sky that never fully fades. A sky that constantly reminds you that you are part of something far beyond your understanding. Today, we're not just going to talk about the universe. Today, we're going to try to live inside it. We live in the Milky Way, a galaxy that, on its own, is already enormous. It contains over 100 billion stars and stretches across nearly 100,000 light-years. Our solar system is just a tiny point, located in one of its outer arms, the Orion Arm, a quiet corner, far from the center, almost invisible, within a structure this vast. And even that is already difficult to comprehend. But here's something that changes everything. The observable universe contains more than 2 trillion galaxies. 2 trillion. Each one with its own stars, its own planets, its own possibilities, entire histories we will never witness. So let me ask you this. If there are trillions of galaxies, how many stories are unfolding right now that we will never know? And among them, there are galaxies that are not just large. They are incomprehensible. To begin understanding this, we need a reference, a single concept, a light year. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year. Light moves at about 300,000 kilometers per second. In just 1 second, it can circle the Earth more than 7 times. In 1 year, it travels about 9.46 trillion kilometers. That is a light year. Now consider this. If you tried to cross our galaxy, the Milky Way, traveling at the speed of light, it would take you 100,000 years. 100,000 years without stopping. And that is just an average galaxy. So now imagine this. What kind of structure would make something like that feel small? The universe does not stop there. There are structures so large, they make everything we've just described feel insignificant. And one of them breaks everything we think we understand. Its name is Alcyoneus. And as far as we know, it is the largest galaxy ever discovered, over 16 million light-years across, more than 160 times larger than the Milky Way. But the number isn't what matters. What matters is what it means. Because living there would not feel the same. Imagine being born inside Alcyoneus. Your sky wouldn't look like ours. You wouldn't see a few scattered stars fading into darkness. You would see density, entire regions of the sky filled with light, areas where the number of stars is so immense that night, as we know it, would barely exist. A sky that glows, constant, endless. But here's the real question. Would you even notice how extraordinary that sky is if you had never seen anything else? Because there would also be the opposite. Vast emptiness. Regions so distant, so silent, that you could live your entire life without ever seeing another nearby galaxy. No reference points, no sense of scale, just distance and darkness. Now think about time. If a civilization emerged on one side of Alcyoneus and another civilization formed on the opposite side, not even light could connect them. For millions of years, that means something deeply unsettling. Multiple civilizations could exist within the same galaxy and never know about each other. Never. No signals, no contact, no possibility of connection. So, ask yourself, if you were one of them, how would you prove that anything else exists? Like isolated islands in an infinite ocean. At the center of these massive galaxies, there is something even more extreme, a supermassive black hole. Our own galaxy has one, Sagittarius A. But in galaxies like Alcyoneus, these cores can be far more violent. They release jets of energy, moving at nearly the speed of light. They emit intense radiation. They warp space and time itself. If you lived near that center, the sky wouldn't be calm. It would be unstable, chaotic, dangerous. A place where matter is constantly being consumed, where gravity becomes overwhelming. And here's something to think about. Would a civilization survive there? Or would it never even have the chance to exist? But perhaps the most profound aspect is not the size, not the energy, not the violence. It is the isolation. Because the larger a galaxy becomes, the more separated its parts are. More distance, more silence, more disconnection. A civilization could look up at the sky and believe the universe is small, empty, that they are alone. But what if they're not alone, but simply too far away to ever know? And this is where everything changes, because we might be doing the same thing. Just as a civilization inside Alcyoneus could never fully understand its own galaxy, we may never truly understand the full scale of our universe. What we see could be just a fraction, a small window into something far greater. So let me ask you one more thing. What if everything we believe about reality is only part of a much bigger picture? And if some theories are correct, there may not even be just one universe. There could be many, perhaps infinite, different versions, different realities, different outcomes, which leads to an even more unsettling idea that somewhere, everything that could happen already is. Every choice, every possibility, every version of reality. But in the end, this is not just about how large galaxies are. It's about what it means that we can understand them at all. We are a species on a small planet in an average galaxy, capable of imagining structures millions of light years wide, capable of asking questions that go beyond our own existence, capable of looking up at the sky and wondering what lies beyond. And that is what makes this truly extraordinary. Because the universe is not just large, it is large enough to keep us searching, mysterious enough to keep us questioning. And maybe, just maybe, the most important question isn't what's out there, but why we can even ask. And this is only the beginning.